Some Theurgy attack in Persona 3 Reload are just flashy finishers, but a few actually say something about the characters behind them. So in this video, I'm ranking every SEES member's Theurgys based on how well the animation reflects their persona and in-game stories. Just to be clear though, we're only looking at the animation here and not the persona designs. That's a whole other topics I'll probably cover in another video. That said, I think you'll really appreciate the S tier picks I landed on, so let's go through the list and feel free to let me know which one you agree with once you've seen all of them. Cyclone Arrow is one of the first Theurgys you unlock, and visually, it's pretty cool, but when it comes to how well it reflects Yukari or her persona lore, this one doesn't go very far. The main connection is just the bow, since Yukari is into archery, so that part fits, but Io isn't a wind goddess, and there's no real mythological tie to wind either. That said, most of Yukari's deeper lore connections are in Io design, which we're not covering here. So yeah, as much as I like Yukari as a character, this one's going in a D tier. Yukari's second Theurgy is performed with Aigis and is called Tranquilities. This one's a little better than the last. The most interesting part is the red oval hovering above Aigis. Yukari shoots an arrow into it and it explodes, giving the party a magic damage buff. That red shape is a Tiet, also known as the Knot of Aigis or the Blood of Aigis. It's a real-world symbol tied to Aigis and is associated with protection, healing, regeneration, and feminine powers. So yeah, in that sense, it's actually make a lot of thematic sense that is spread above to the party. That said, because it doesn't heal, just power up magic, I'm putting this one into C tiers. Hack and Blast is Junpei's first Theurgy. It deals severe slash damage and ignores resistances. Normally, something this simple would go straight to D tiers, but there's a small detail that saves it. When Junpei runs forwards, Hermes fly past him, and Junpei stumble a bit. To me, it feels like a nod to his character, since he's eager to prove himself but not quite ready yet. It also fits well with his Magician Arcana, which often represent untapped potential. It's a subtle touch, but it adds a little something and it's a great stepping stone toward his next Theurgy. So I'm placing this one in the C tier. Blaze of Life is Junpei's second Theurgy, which he gets after awakening to Trismegistus, right after Chidori sacrifices herself to save him. Here's a fun bit of trivia. This technically makes Junpei one of the first non-protagonist characters in the series to fuse two personas, since Trismegistus is a combination of Metis and Hermes. If you remember Hack and Blast, I mentioned how Junpei stumbled as Hermes fly past him. Blaze of Life is set up in the same way. Trismegistus fly forward again, but this time Junpei doesn't trip, and that's character's development. It's a subtle touch, but it showed growth. And yeah, I know some people might get mad at this list if I rank their favorite too low, which I will as the list goes on. But this one is definitely an S tier. You even see healing at the end of the move, which feel like a nod to Metis abilities, but more importantly, a tribute to Chidori's sacrifice. Two personas, two people coming together. And Junpei's expression afterward, he just looked more serious, more mature, like he's finally ready to take his life seriously. It's a beautiful theurgy and it's absolutely deserved the S. Akihiko Theurgy with Polydeuces is called Lightning Spike. It deals heavy electric damage to all foes. Honestly, this one feels like a big missed opportunity. Polydeuces, also known as Pollux, is literally known in mythology as a boxer, which fit Akihiko perfectly. But the animation doesn't lean into that at all. Instead, Polydeuces charges a lightning ball and Akihiko punches it like a projectile. That said, Polydeuces doesn't have any real connection to lightning either, aside from being the son of Zeus. So yeah, not much going on here. Definitely one of the more forgettable ones. This one's a D for me. Electric Onslaught deals severe electric damage to one target and has a high chance of causing shock. That said, Caesar, Akihiko's second persona, refer to both the title Caesar and Julian Caesar, the Roman general and statesman that title originate from. Of course, he has nothing to do with lightning and electricity. Funny enough, this animation would have actually fit better with Polydeuces since it's a single target punch based move. Once again, most of Caesar lore connection are in his design, especially how it resembles the Emperor Arcana. But since we're strictly talking about animation today, this is another D. Fuuka's Theurgy's Oracle and Revelation both give healing or buff to the party, and since they share the same animation, I'll cover them together. Like a lot of entries on this list, most of the symbolism and lore connections for Lucia and Juno show up in their design and in cutscenes, especially Fuuka Awakening, which honestly so good I might have to make a whole video on it later. That said, the only real visual references here is how Fuuka is positioned inside the stomach of her persona. For Juno, who the Roman equivalent of Hera, that makes some sense since she's associated with childbirth. For Lucia, who was a murderer and sworn to remain a virgin, it's definitely an odd choice. But again, that's more about the persona design, not the theurgy animation itself. So for the visual execution alone, this one is another D. Penthesilea is an Amazon warrior queen from Greek mythology, and while Mitsuru Theurgy Blizzard Age look cool, it doesn't really tie into her story. Penthesilea is known for losing one of her eyes, which is slightly inspired Mitsuru hair design. Interestingly, her father, who actually has a damaged eyes, cover the opposite one. It's a nice bit of symbolism showing how Mitsuru sees most clearly with guidance from her fathers. But again, none of that show up in the Theurgy animation, so this one is a D. Blade of Execution is Mitsuru's second theurgy performed with Artemisia. It deals massive almighty damage to one foe and lowers all of their stats. Artemisia was the queen of Hyrcanus, a small city-state in Asia Minor. She supported the Persian Empire during the Greco-Persian Wars and is best known for her role in the naval battle of Salamis. During that battle, she famously rammed a ship from her own fleet to confuse the Greeks and escape a hopeless situation. Her clever tactics earned her a reputation as one of the history's boldest naval commanders. That said, again, none of that come true in the animation. Maybe Blade of Execution is a subtle nod to the hot spring cutscene where Mitsuru says she'll execute all the boys, but that's probably a stretch. I could give it a C for that, but honestly, it's not interesting enough. So this one is another D. Now, you might be wondering, are we just stuck in a D tier streak? The answer is no. The reason so many landed here is because of the criteria we are using. We're judging how well the Theurgy animation reflects the Persona original lore or the character story, not just if it's look cool or fit the gameplay. And that's tough because even though most Persona fans love mythological ties, the Theurgies are clearly designed more around gameplay balance and character mechanics than lore. So I'm grouped most of the D together up front. Everything from here on out is where it gets more interesting. Starting with Bleeding Fury is Shinjiro's first and only Theurgy. It deals severe damage to one foe and ignore resistances. In the animation, you see blood spilling out from Caster's chest from an object that's clearly stuck in him. After Shinjiro bathed in that blood, he delivers his final attack. That object on Caster's chest is a spearhead, and it's not just for show. In mythology, Caster and Polydeuces are twin brothers who end up crashing with their cousins. The full story is pretty long, but here's the relevant part. During a raid to steal their cousin cattle, the twins are caught. Caster, who was keeping watch, gets speared and fatally wounded. But before dying, he warned Polydeuces, which gives his brother time to fight back and survive. It's a great parallel to Shinjiro's story, who know his days are numbered but still choose to stand and fight alongside SEES. That symbolism makes this one of the best matches between animation and character lore. This is definitely an A. An orgia in ancient Greek religions referred to secret, intense rituals performed in honor of gods like Dionysus. These ceremonies involve wild dancing, loud music, and sometimes even animal sacrifices, meant to bring participants into a heightened emotional or spiritual state known as ecstasy. So just on motion alone, Aigis Theurgy already fit the theme, but there's more. One of my favorite details is how the component that gave Aigis sentience, the papillon hearts, light up in the shape of an actual heart during the animation. Papillon means butterfly in French, so the component is literally called the butterfly hearts. That ties back beautifully to the butterfly wing-like energy pattern used during orgia mode. And in Persona, butterflies are a recurring symbol often tied to the soul, which makes this Theurgy even better. However, as much as I love this one and really want to give it an S, I think I'll hold back a bit since there are still some great ones ahead. So for now, it's an A. Maximum firing powers is Aigis' second Theurgy. It deals severe pierce damage to one foe and ignore all resistances. While the animation look cool, I actually think the all gear mode Theurgy has more impact visually. But this one has a beautiful piece of symbolism that ties Aigis' story to the mythology of Athena. Right before the final hit, Aigis used Athena's shield as a platform to launch her attack. For those who don't know, Aigis' official Japanese name is Aigis, which is also the name of the shield used by Athena, often depicted with a gorgon face on it. So in this scene, you literally have Aegis standing on the Aegis, but it goes deeper than that. During the scene where Palladians evolve into Athena, Aigis has an existential crisis. She questions her purpose. If she can't destroy mankind's greatest threat, then what is she even living for? And yet, at the end of the story, even knowing that Nyx can't be defeated, she chooses to fight anyway, not to destroy Nyx, but to protect the one she loved. That image, Aegis standing on the shield, perfectly captures that shift. Aegis is no longer a weapon meant to destroy, she's a shield that exists to protect. This one's an S. Koromaru's first Theurgy is called Howl of Hades. It deals severe dark damage to one foe and ignores all resistances. Howl of Hades is a title given to Cerberus, the guard dogs of the underworld. Hades, in this case, could refer either to the underworld itself or the gods who rules it. Cerberus is most famously known for the story of Heracles and the 12 labors, where one of his tasks is to retrieve Cerberus from the underworld. That said, none of that really show up in the Theurgy animation, so this one's another D. We're back in the D tier territory for a bit, but there's only 5 Theurgy left, and 2 of them are actually my favorites in the whole games, especially when it's come to honoring the original lore. Let's keep going. Second Theurgy is called Power of Howling. It boosts the next physical attack for all allies, making it deal more than double damage. It's still performed by Cerberus since Koromaru doesn't have an evolved persona. So I checked to see if there was any myth about Cerberus howling or any connection to the moon, but nothing really came up. Fun fact though, one of the Pluto moons is named after Cerberus, which is a cool bit of trivia, but it doesn't seem to relate to this Theurgy at all. So yeah, unfortunately, it's a double D for our little critters. Metis' Orgia mode is just as beautiful as her sisters, but without the dancing. This time, she used a butterfly-shaped mask to cover her face before unleashing the attack. That detail is a major hint about Metis' identity, even before the final reveal. That she's actually a part of Aigis, a piece Aigis tried to discard because she couldn't bear the emotional pain of losing the protagonist. In that sense, Metis, along with the butterfly motif, can be seen as the soul Aigis was trying to let go of, so she could return to being just a machine. That's also why in episode Aigis, Aigis loses the ability to use Orgia mode, while Metis is the one who uses it instead. The glowing papillon hearts and butterfly-shaped energy wings are both present here too, tying everything together. But the part I like the most is when Metis close the mask over her face before attacking. It's a small moment, but it's connected to Carl Jung's theory of the persona, the idea that we wear masks to face the world. This concept is also explored more directly in Persona 5. That said, seeing that idea show up here, not just as a reference, but as a protection from Metis during the attack, is really cool. Honestly, I might even like this one more than Aigis, but to be fair to her sister, I'll keep this one at A. Charging Bliss is Metis' second Theurgy. It deals severe strike damage to one foe and ignore resistances. Like her first Theurgy, this one also resembles Aigis' second Theurgy, maximum firing power, especially in the way the final attack is delivered. Once again, Metis closed her butterfly-shaped mask right before the impact, but unlike her first Theurgy, this one finally includes Psyche in the animation. That makes the link between Metis and Aigis even clearer. Now, you got the butterfly motif from Metis' mask combined with Psyche, the goddess of the soul in Greek mythology. It's a solid entry with strong symbolic tie. I'm giving this one a B. We've finally reached the last Theurgy, and funnily enough, it's come from Ken, who isn't exactly the most popular character in the cast. When people talk about Ken, it's usually about his awkward social link with Kotone, but despite that, I think Ken Theurgys are actually the best in the game when it's come to paying tribute to his story, and they also reflect his personal mythological background beautifully. Ken's first Theurgy is called Divine Retribution. It deals severe light damage to one foe, ignoring resistances. In the animation, Ken's persona, Nemesis, a goddess of justice and retribution, play a central role. Interestingly, the original concept of justice in Nemesis mythology wasn't about moralities or good versus evil. It's more about balance, returning what is due. In this Theurgy, Ken throws a large spear toward the enemy, but instead of it hitting the target directly, Nemesis catches it mid-air. She then summoning a barrage of spear before finally throwing the original one back at the enemy, ending with a massive explosion. What makes this so powerful is how it parallels the story of Caster and Shinjiro. Caster was killed by a spear, and in Persona 3 story, Ken seek revenge against Shinjiro, who accidentally killed his mother. But later, Ken realized that even if he take revenge, it won't bring her back, and it doesn't make him feel any better. And that's what makes this Theurgy and the one that follow so meaningful. Ken's second Theurgy is called Divine Intervention. Instead of dealing damage, it does the opposite. It revives the entire party and fully restores their HP. And on top of that, it also reflects the next attack that targets them. This Theurgy is unlocked after Shinjiro's death when Ken awakens to his new persona, Kalanemi. It reflects a major turning point in his character. His realization that using his power to take life won't bring his mother back. From this point on, he decides to use his strength not for revenge, but to protect the people he still has. Even the name of the two Theurgies reflect this arc. First, Divine Retribution, a symbol of vengeance. Then, Divine Intervention, a symbol of protection and healing. Together, these Theurgy perfectly capture Ken's emotional journey and stand out as the best Theurgy pairing in the entire game when it's come to storytelling and mythological tribute. Both of them go side by side in the S tier. Now, if you enjoyed this kind of breakdown, I also have a separate video that covers the Theurgys and the lore behind them for the protagonists. You can check that out right after this. And if you want to support the channel, consider becoming a member and joining the Dojima Residence. You'll get early access to video, behind the scenes updates, and help me keep making more content like this one.